So there once was a boy who was highly depressed and had given up on life. Nothing seemed to work out for him. He was a hard worker, but nothing ever led to fruition. But he wasn't a quitter, so he showed up every single day facing the world. He stood up to his bullies every day, got beaten up every day. He was constantly getting criticized by everyone around him, being called stupid by everybody, even his own parents. Negativity had built multiple stories in his head, planning to live there forever and ever. But he was a fighter. He fought and fought. He gave it his all in pushing himself toward positivity every single day. He kept fighting, kept trying, kept coming up with new ways of dealing with the problems in his life until he was too exhausted from all that fighting with the entire world every single day, but more so with his own mind. No matter how many times he dragged himself out of that pool of negativity, something or the other would eventually push him back in. The demons in his head had grown too strong. He knew he had to accept his defeat and find some peace in life. He couldn't keep fighting those battles forever. There was no way he was winning that war. There were too many of them and he had no one by his side. He was completely alone. Sooner or later that day had to come when he'd have to make a choice. Either keep fighting a war he can never win or end it once and for all. He chose to end his life on his own terms. He mustered up the courage to end that constant noise in his head by deciding to hang himself from the ceiling fan. So that unfortunate day finally came. He woke up to what he knew would be the last day of his life, brushed his teeth one last time, locked his door, he took out the rope that he had bought, and for no particular reason he switched on the fan and the fan didn't start. He wasn't even feeling hot, he just did that. And so the fan didn't start spinning and his mind got distracted trying to figure out why. He knew what he had decided to do. A defective fan cannot prevent that. But he chose to fix the fan first for no reason. So the reason he gave himself for, since he doesn't know the first thing about fixing a fan, he'd probably screw it up like he always did with everything that he tried in his life, and probably and hopefully die of electric shock in the process, which he was looking forward to. And that thought sounded less frightening than hanging himself. So he started working on the fan. It took him a few days, and not a single day went by when he didn't hope that it would be his last. And somehow he fixed it. He mounted the fan back on the ceiling. He sat on his chair, switched on the fan. As he felt the wind of his achievement, something inside him shifted. Something clicked, something was talking to him. He realized that he wasn't worthless or stupid after all. This might have seemed like no big deal to anyone else in the entire world, but for him it was everything. All his life, all he heard was he was an idiot, he was a stupid, he was a screw up, he was a mess up, he was of no use. No, I don't know, all the negative, every single negative thing that you can think of, that's all he heard growing up. And so this tiny sense of accomplishment meant the world to him. And something inside him, something, I don't know what, but something told him that you should give yourself another shot. So he chose to give himself another shot. He took out a piece of paper and started writing down everything he needed to work on, the dreams he had, what he wanted to achieve, the flaws he needed to work on, what he had to do tomorrow, the first few steps in transforming himself. The boy who had been about to end everything was now looking forward to a new beginning. He who had surrendered to the demons in his head had picked up his sword again. He who had spent countless nights staring at the ceiling, unable to fall asleep, now instantly fell asleep, finally welcoming what a new day had to offer with wide open arms. He slept under the cozy wind of the fan that he had fixed with his own hands. And suddenly the fan dropped on his head and he bled to death. Because no matter how well you fix the fan, if you don't mount it tight to the ceiling, it's bound to fall. Life didn't give a fuck how much he appreciated it. If you slit your wrist, you'll bleed to death. If you get run over by a bus, you'll paint the road red with your blood. In the same way, if you don't screw the fan tight, you'll be screwed. Life just keeps on living. Everyone had been right about him all along. He was a dumb motherfucker.